Today, I'm going to be sharing with you about how to grieve the loss of a loved one. This is one of the questions that I've been asking myself since my son wasn't even born. When I was pregnant, I remember that I met a lady who came to my baby shower, and she shared with us that she had just lost her sister 2 days before my baby shower, but she was so calm, so she didn't look distracted. She was happy. She was participating in the baby shower, and I thought to myself, how can somebody have so much peace, that be so calm like the way she is after losing a loved one, right? So and that's a question that stuck into my mind for all this year. My son is 16 years now, and lately I've been learning how to cope with this, because last year I've been losing cousins and uncles, and I it's been sad, but the loss that I have last year was much harder. It was my dad. My dad went to heaven, and so I started looking more on how can you feel better from a pain like that, especially because I hadn't seen him for more than 20 years, and I wasn't with my mom, with my family when they had to say goodbye. And so that was something that has been very heavy into my heart, and I've been looking for ways to minimize that pain, right? Because I know that pain is never going to go away. And so I'm going to be sharing with you the ways that I've been learning, that I've been practicing, and how to minimize that pain. And the first one is thinking about the idea that if we believe in Jesus, I believe in Jesus. And so I'm not trying to tell you what to believe on. I'm just sharing what I believe, what is helping me. So that if I believe in Jesus and I believe that he resurrected, so I should feel calm, and knowing that my dad, even though he's not here anymore, he's with Jesus, because we are all spirits and we're gonna go with him. So that's the first idea. The second idea is thinking that they don't go completely, because everything that they taught us is inside us. So they're living inside us now, and everything because every moment that we experience with them, it shaped us in some way. So in a way, we are part of them, so they can live through us that way. And the third one that I've been hearing is that we need to try to find something good, learn something good about that pain, about any hardship, any pain that we're going through. And this I learned from a quote that I listened from a lady, from one of my mentors, one of my teachers, that she also just passed away this last weekend. And I'm going to be sharing about that too, and how she can help me even. She have helped me even lessen the pain of my dad, and also kind of find my purpose. And this quote says that don't let any hardship go through to waste. And the idea for this quote is exactly that. Like, even though we're going through very hard things, we can always find good in it. And we can learn from what we're going through. And I started asking, maybe you're asking that too, how can I get something good out of something so painful? And one of the best ways to do it is learning from the life, from their life, learning the lessons that we got from them, from how they live, or how they live, or what happened and didn't happen with their life and our situation. And I've been using this phrase, and it has helped me learn that my dad, the importance of words of encouragement, because my dad always had words of encouragement for me. He always made me feel that I was very, very special, and that I could accomplish anything that I wanted. And so that I've been trying to give that to my kids, and also sharing that through these videos, right? Because that he made me feel so special. And the other thing that I learned is the importance of communication, because when my dad had an accident like a little bit more than 20 years before he passed, and I just focused. My brothers and my sisters were teenagers. I was living here already in the United States. And I just focused on sending them money and supporting them economically. But I never thought about that they were just teenagers and they didn't have my dad. They didn't have all the guidance that I had when I was a teenager, and that I needed to communicate with them to help them go through all the feelings that they were having. And also I didn't know about so many hard things that they went through just because I wasn't communicating with them. And that's why one of the things that I've been talking about lately is the importance of having a good relationship with our loved ones, especially with our kids, but also with your brothers, with your sisters, with the people that you love, and how to have have a good relationship with them. So that's what I learned from my dad. And then maybe you might be asking, but how can I learn this? It's so hard. And this one that I'm gonna share with you now this way is gonna help you with all the other things. And it's something that I learned here in the United States. I hadn't seen it in Mexico before, maybe because I hadn't experienced losing anybody. But what I saw is this tradition of celebrating people's life. And I learned that in my church. I saw that with one of our pastors, and I love the idea. And I tried to do that with my dad, because even through Zoom, it was through Zoom, I tried to do it. I tried to find people that would share the experiences that have with him, that if they had any moment that he made them smile or he made them feel special, that people would share with that. That's what celebrating the life of someone means. And I tried to do that with my dad, but I couldn't do it the way that I wanted, because the people, only a couple of persons wanted to share what the experiences that they had with them. But in this weekend, I had the privilege to experience that with the celebration, the life of celebration that we had for our mentor, for our teacher, for our friend, who is Jessie Lee. Maybe you know her, maybe you don't know her, but I'm telling you that this activity, if you don't have it, you don't practice it, I really recommend it to you, because when you get together with a lot of people who is going through so much sadness, and you sharing all the stories and all the things that happened before and when they met her and how they met her, and you start connecting dots, you start learning more about the life that how they were, what they share, what they believed. And that's what helped me with like thinking about my dad, and how this celebration was for Jessie Lee, but it helped me with my dad too, because I learned that how my dad, even though with all the people that share and how they started connecting the dots, I started connecting the dots with my dad, and how even though he didn't even know who I was for the last 20 years, only one time he called me daughter, he was always looking out for me. And I think in a way he talked to God and he said, God, please have my daughter meet Jessie Lee, so that Claudia remembers who she is, whom I thought her to be. Because the first time I saw Jessie Lee, I thought she was too crazy, she was too loud for me. So I ignored her, and I kept seeing her and I kept ignoring her. But then I had been looking for a way to help my dad to get better, because he had a brain injury. So I was looking for ways to try to help him feel better, and maybe hopefully, go back and hug him, and he would know me, and he would do so many things that he couldn't do anymore. And one of the things that took me there was learning about the keto diet and how our body produces ketones and how helpful is that for our brain. And so that took me back to Jessie Lee. I found her in a video talking about ketones. And so I started getting interested in her, and I started listening to her podcast, to her videos, and she started feeding in my heart, in my mind, all the things that I long so for, that I miss so much about my dad. I just now recognize and see that's why my dad or God sent me to see her, to find her. Because also because just when I decided, I met her, I saw her the first time when COVID-19 started. And just a year and a half ago, I decided to start learning more from her, getting closer to her. So I joined her team, and I started learning like through Zoom from her, like 3 hours a week. And she would pour into us to believe in us, to work for our dreams, to be who we are, to not be afraid of who we are, and to share everything that we believe in. That's why I started sharing more about Jesus and God, because she told me, you need to share what you believe in. You need to share who you are, no matter what anybody else think. That's the biggest lesson that I have from her. And right after I joined her team, started learning more closely from her, I learned that my dad got very sick, and after 6 months he passed. And I think God knew that I needed to be close to Jessie Lee, because she needed to keep pouring me and to start me, helping me believe all the things that my dad used to tell me, because I was going to lose the hope of having my dad telling me those things again. And so that helped me connect with that, and seeing how much people was impacted by her life, I started thinking, like, how can somebody have impacted so many people and helped so many people and have so much joy, even though she knew she might die soon. He had colon cancer, and I started looking for answers. And I found that this morning, after being with this celebration of her life, and how everybody talked about her, and what most people said about her is that she loved a lot of people. She just gave love to everybody, but also that she was very disciplined. And that was that word that stayed with me: discipline, discipline, discipline. And then this morning I opened my app that I use for my devotionals, and I find in the Bible there's disciplines that Jesus taught us. And these disciplines are things that she did. It talked about the discipline of meditation, which was something that she talked to us about. The discipline of prayer, that's another thing that she used to talk about to us about, that she would do. The discipline of fellowship, she created a community for us to be together, to work together, to encourage one another. And the discipline of administration, of stewardship, not only of the money, but also of the talents and the abilities, the interests, the education that you learn, and to share them freely with joy. And Jessie Lee, this year, she was her joy year, so she will give freely. And also the discipline of generosity, and she gave so much. And this takes me back to how that lady that I met when I was pregnant with Ovi Alfred, had so much peace after losing her daughter. And I just realized Jessie Lee had all these disciplines, and she was able to pour into so much people, and to help so much people believe and make so much people special, because she had Jesus in her heart. These disciplines are in the Bible. This is the disciplines that Jesus taught us, and that's exactly what Jessie Lee did. And so this is what I wanted to share with you today. what because she gave us the example, so that we'll be talking with our leaders, and she said, like, she's not gone. As the first thing I said, when somebody dies, they're not completely gone. They're leaving you with what they taught you. And that's something that I wanted to share with you today. All the belief that she gave us, that you believe, so that you believe, as she made me believe, that you are special. You have a purpose. You have to work for your dreams. You have to live your life in the way that you want to, so that you feel happy. You should not care about being accepted by others. You should only care about doing the things that makes you happy, the things that make your heart joyful. Of course, you are not gonna hurt anybody else, but don't try to fit in on somebody else's group and lose yourself, because that's one thing that I did. And so that's the message that I wanted to share with you, and how we can learn a good thing from grieving somebody, right? So we can keep taking their legacy, and we can share all that they taught us and all that they were to other people. So thank you for your time. If you find value in this video, I'm losing my voice, please share with somebody that you think might help. Thank you for your time. God bless, and see you in the next one.